before we all left for COVID, like a traditional day on campus was like, I always wake up too late and then for like lunch and dinner, get like a ronde burrito, walking to and from like classes and meetings and like spending my day on campus and doing things there as well.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely enjoyed my freshman year, which I was able to have like at least 2/3 of it in person on campus, living in the dorms.
I don't think I've gone back since the day that like we left. It was the notice of like, there's the coronavirus, like pandemic, like there's something going around, like we don't know what it is. 2-3 days later, they were like, you have to leave.
I'm a first year student. I've been to the campus once.
The first time I went on campus as a student was this past Thanksgiving break, and it was like so surreal. It was definitely a different experience entirely going there as a student as opposed to just like a visitor.
It kind of sucks to start off online. Not having that face-to-face interaction is definitely, it feels like something is lacking.
I'll be walking around with my UCLA shirt, and the amount of times that people stop me to ask me, oh my goodness, are you a Bruin? Oh, are you going to UCLA? And it's like, well, yeah, kind of. I'm a Bruin, but I'm not really on campus.
To be honest, I'm not really sure what the culture is like. I think UCLA does a really great job of trying to connect us. Like, I'm following them on all the Instagram and Twitter, all the bar stools and the Black Sheep, I'm trying to, as much as I can, to be connected with them. But, it is hard and it's tough.
There's like the finals scream or something like that, where you yell at midnight or something like that.
The midnight yell, I think that's one of them, right?
I know one of my friends who actually moved down. When they first experienced like the scream, they were so like shocked when it had first happened, and then it kept going like every day. That's how I heard about it.
I only know of one, which is the Bruintizing.
I'm not really sure what that involves, but I just know that it's a thing. And I know like that it takes place at a fountain. That's pretty much it.
When I got admitted as a transfer, there was a transfer group chat. We went to UCLA and somebody knew the speech that they recite. So we got to do like our own little Bruintizing ceremony, which was really cool. I wouldn't say that I participated in the real tradition, but it was as real as it could get for right now.
I know the A-clap, and I'm into the athletics. I like watching sports, so I know the A-clap is, our kind of battle cry.
When it's the USC game for like football, there's like a bonfire-ish where you burn like all your red items. I believe so. I think that's the thing.
USC, UCLA, tailgate, football games, that's like a pretty big deal. Other than that, I'm not really familiar with any other traditions.
My personal favorite UCLA tradition has to be Bruin Bash. Another one of my favorites is dance marathon. I did help put on last year, like my sophomore year's dance marathon, and it was virtual.
I don't really participate in much traditions, but I do think that yelling at midnight during finals week, I think it's not specific to UCLA, but I think for me, just being able to at least witness that my first year, was a sight to behold.
Like, I love Spring Sing. I love like the Beat SC bonfire and rally. I really love Bruintism.
When I think about like how, first years didn't get to experience this type of stuff, or like transfers, definitely the one where you go to like the inverted fountain and you like stick your hand in there. I think that's super, I don't know, that's like one of the traditions that was my favorite, because it's kind of like your initiation. And I know that like some people go back like after they graduate. So I'm kind of hoping that I'm going to be able to do that. It sounds super dorky, but the library, I would always just go in there when I needed space to like be on my own.
There's one thing that really kind of brings it all together, which is obviously everyone always talks about. UCLA has really good food. Food is kind of something that is so integral to our like living, that I think that just kind of forms like such a strong foundation.
Late night Denev. Yeah, when you would come back, or like you'd be sitting super late and be like, oh, I kind of want like some comfort food.
I think Bruin Walk comes to mind, just walking the campus. And there's always these like organizations, including my own like fellowship, who has a table there. But then there's also like that kind of side route, and you kind of like take that to avoid all the people. I thought it was always like just iconic to be able to like witness that, just going to class.
if you ever lived in like student housing or university housing, like what was your most memorable moment from that?
I met some of my best friends like for life during my first week of college in the dorm. For my birthday freshman year, I had like an old pair of shoes. They all like surprised me one night, and they all like pitched in to buy me this like super nice pair of shoes. And it was like a very like wholesome, like heartfelt moment. And I was like, this is just like so crazy. It was literally living on my dorm floor brought me so close to all these people.
What was your main source of meeting other people on either your floor or in your residence hall?
Yeah, so there's a lounge on every floor. And that's kind of, I think at the beginning of the year, really like the RAs kind of try to organize more like kind of meeting where like everyone on the floor like meets in a lounge to go over like kind of more logistical stuff, but also to get to know each other, like play games with each other and stuff like that.
What would you say you learned most in your first year that you've been able to use throughout the rest of your years at UCLA?
Definitely just learning that it's okay to ask for help. Once you realize that like it's okay for you to feel lost and it's okay and it's all part of the journey, you learn and you mature and you are okay, and you ultimately like find yourself being able to navigate the campus, navigate classes without feeling so stressed out or like at loss.
If I'm being honest, I do not feel connected to campus at all. I feel like this is an extended and more challenging version of what my community college provided me. Logging on to the same kind of thing where you just go on CCLE, log on, do your work, close the computer, live your life. You do it all over again. I think the big difference that makes me feel a little bit more connected to UCLA are the study groups that I've created.
Being connected to like the Bruin community, I think just like classes are not that much like online, but I think there's still kind of that kind of sense of being Bruins.
Starting off college, like wherever it may be, in an environment like this has to be like incredibly hard. My advice for like getting connected to like UCLA, even if it's not like through the dorms, is like joining student organizations that I'm really passionate about.
I've been thinking about it more and more, like how excited I am to actually be on campus and actually experience college life things. I've talked about friendships a lot already, but that's one thing I'm mainly looking forward to. Just make new connections with different people and really starting up what the rest of my college experience will be.
I'm really excited just being able to have everything in person again and having physical interactions with people has been really something that I've just been recently just realizing that is just far superior to the online things, just those things that were regular things before. Yeah.
Do you think that you would want to go, like if in a hypothetical world, like the pandemic ended tomorrow and they were, yes, come, would you go?
Yes, 100%. Like as much as I love like my life here in Redondo Beach, I was ready to throw that all away and just be like, I'm going to school and I'm going to go live the life. I would drop it all in a heartbeat.